greetings, greetings. Hit the like, share it out. Let's talk about it really quickly. Keep Blueface away from children. PSA. Don't listen to his no good pedo nanny. Because let's be clear, Carlissa is also a OF. That's what I'm calling it, OF. And this is the one time I'm gonna tell y'all. Just put it backwards and it OF. Hold on.
Mm. Yeah, keep him away from children. I'll be back later on today with another live, and I'm gonna show uh evidence of what I'm saying. But I already been talking about this. It's nothing that is hidden except for the worser part that we don't see. But we see more than enough to know that this dude is suspect with children. Okay. Hit the like button. Thank you. We see enough to know he's suspect with children. We see enough to know that he needs to stay away from children. And like I said, I'll be back later to show y'all some stuff. The things I want to show, some of it I did not download or record, so hopefully it's still up there. Because depending on what is out there, people might not do anything about it at first because they either don't care or didn't know, or they just feel like any publicity is publicity, right? But sometimes when people start to talk more about the bad things and focus on it, then that's when they're gonna want to try to get stuff taken down. So that being said, hopefully things are up. And my hope, I hope that more people would start talking about this, because y'all talk about him, promote him with all kind of stuff, and he's trash. We know that he's trash, right? But you don't talk about things that you need to be talking about that are very serious. Shame on him, shame on Jaden, shame on Nevaeh for starts. But definitely shame on Carlissa, because she not only gave birth to that scumbag, she bred him into what he is. And Carlissa is a walking, talking piece of trash. And all of y'all that are promoting her, posting her, putting her on your pages while she uses her granddaughter, because there's no substance to Carlissa. She has no talents. She's a loudmouth, a whip. That's what she is. Terrible mother, and she traumatized her children. And she did some horrible things to those boys. I'm not excluding you, Callie. I always speak about how terrible of a mother she is too. And I know that Callie's been through some shit. She's been through some shit. Uh the things that Carlissa has done to her son ha- it is a reason why she should not dare be around those grandchildren. Not Journey, and definitely not Javon. That's a damaged child right there, Javon. Remember how he used to wild out when he was younger? We know that eh, 9 times out of 10, that comes from having these dysfunctional parents and being neglected while witnessing just chaos and drama all the time. But what about the parts that we don't talk about? Remember when Javon was young, around Journey's age? And is most people when they have children, their children tend to be different. If one is wild and social and just open and all that, the other child seems to be a little bit of the opposite. But it's interesting how Journey seems to be acting a lot like how Javon was. And I don't think Journey's gonna grow out of it like Javon did, especially since hers is used and exploited and encouraged. And they laugh at it. They think it's funny. Everybody. You see the video recently with her grandmammy and how she tried to play and make y'all think that she's trying to teach Journey how to not cuss and use filler words, which unfortunately, this thing that mentions God in the Bible, that she should know that if you eat some ground up black beans and say to yourself, I'm gonna pretend this is a burger, you may as well eat a burger. Okay. If you look at your man's wife and you say, oh, she got I will, okay, you might as well do it because it's still a sin, right? So when you teach a child to use filler words, their intentions are still there. Their intentions are to what? Cuss. And not only was she having her use filler words, she was actually having her cuss too, and laughing and laughing and laughing. But y'all want to keep promoting Carlissa because of what? Because you want a few dollars on your social media, likes and views and shit like that. But people will do all of the words as it has been written just to get something from it, some kind of reward, money, so they can buy their raggedy ass a sandwich, maybe pay a bill. There was a guy I saw uh, earlier today, and he's a part of this crew that I didn't know existed with Casanat called A and something. And they apparently was had like this sketch comedy show. And they had this hot wing, I answer you a question, you eat the hot wing, answer the question truthfully types show. And they asked him something, something. And his response was oh, why did he quit and then come back from doing content? And he said he don't know what he would do or what he would be without YouTube. Mm. I told y'all before about Blueface and how suspect he was. How suspect he was. If you watch him with his daughter and when they play Barbies and stuff, the kind of conversation she's trying to have is what a little girl would do. Hey, mom, can you go to the store? You want to go to the store? But him, he always makes it adult content and sexual. No, we going to the club. And then he talks to them like 304s would talk to each other. And she has tried and tried to steer it back to childlike content because that's not her lane. But he's insistent. And it's been like that every single time. Now, notice we haven't seen him playing Barbies with her much, but he still exploits her. And we saw enough of that to know. And then the way they talk around them and to them. Y'all are praising a guy who was holding his daughter and told his daughter that he's going to get his mama's PUSSY later. Amongst other things, they talk like this all the time, the two of them, in front of and to their children, both of them. Somehow, you guys don't see a problem with that. You don't have a problem with that. You won't have a problem with them doing heinous things to the children and allowing others to. You won't have a problem with that. I don't care what you come on here and try to say. Okay? You won't. Right? And same with Javon. Now, the way Javon was acting out, that was a clear sign that something was wrong. Now, he's a much quieter and calmer kid today. But notice how his parents stick him on Roblox. For y'all to be on social media, you seem to be oblivious about Roblox. There's no way you could tell me you don't know about Roblox. Yet we watch this piece of trash spend thousands on his child getting Roblox bucks. And we know for a fact he sits on the internet the majority of his life. So that is what? Offering him up. That's what that is. They don't care because they're both trash. Jaden and Blueface. Pure trash. Right? When you see Javon with his dad, they don't have a bond. Before he went to prison, they seemed like they were becoming peas in a pod. Unfortunately, the content was mostly him teaching his son how to be disrespectful to his mother. To, he talked negatively about his mom to him. He, cracked jokes on her with him and encouraged his son to do the same. And to this day, he still is teaching him to be his mother's enemy. And Jaden is so stupid, she allows it. But after he got out of prison, not only was Blueface different, him and his son's relationship was different. Now, you already had him being neglected and abused, and he was acting out big time to show it. Now, look at him with his dad. Awkward. Oh, you getting me Roblox? Cool. His mom wants to continue to say he's really good with children. Well, the way he is with Journey is not good. The way he encourages and allows her to behave and speak is not good. That's not being good with children, right? The way that he really don't spend no real time with her is not good. He doesn't instill any respect or discipline. And he definitely not gonna teach her how she should be uh with guys, except for just like the chicks that he likes, right? But how can you say this dude is a good father when he, for one, barely spends time with his son? I bet you if the internet didn't jump on him like they did about Javon and Javon being ignored while he highlighted Journey, to this day, it would still be the same. but he's great with children. She wouldn't know what that is. She wouldn't know. Mm-mm. It's very awkward between the two of them. When he interacts with Javon, it's clear to me that it's forced on his end. And it's also clear that Javon is awkward with him. The way he loosens him up is to talk shit about his mom, buy him Roblox. If he said, "Can we go and get a slushie or whatever?" And then he says yes, hand him some money, get him a lot of Roblox. He's cool. I don't care what your expenses are. No, your income is, which all of that is a facade, right? But it does not matter if you're filthy fucking rich. No parent is going to continuously buy their child hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go sit and be on Roblox. Any game, but much less that one. Any parent would know that it is unhealthy for a child to be that much consumed with a one thing, especially something like a video game, sitting in front of the TV screen, and that particular game. It's too many parents and other organizations out here trying to get it taken off and to protect their children from it. It is the most predatory video game for children out here on the market with so much controversy. It's ridiculous. And if you think Blueface isn't sending you a clear message by buying his son hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of Roblox bucks, and they just let him sit on Roblox all day, it don't get no clearer. And then his mom come on here and say that right after we just saw Blueface go get him $600 in Roblox, he charged her credit card for $600 in Roblox. Maybe it's the six that is the highlighter here. Yeah. To say he's addicted is an understatement, but great parents. I'm sure he'll be a great kid. But why is it so awkward between him and his dad? Hmm? The love should be there still. The love should be there, regardless of whether he was in prison, regardless of whether they see each other a lot. He used to have a lot of fits when his dad would want to leave. He used to, really be excited to see his dad. And then it became an awkward thing. The boy is very intelligent and I would say intuitive with gifts. And he understands that although his dad never was shit, the one that went in is carrying a heavier spirit that came out, the one that came out. That is he brought a whole lot of demons with him, as if he didn't have enough already. But he is a much darker entity. But when y'all see him, you see this soft-spoken guy, somebody who your punk ass want to be with, male or female. We already knew we was sassy. I'm not really trying to care about the gay allegations, the videos and things and all that stuff that a lot of us saw and know about that went down in prison, the witnesses and all that stuff. I heard, people talking about that, and it seems to be a big deal to them, but someone's preference with another adult, we too old for that. Like, no, they shouldn't bring extra focus and attention to it. But a lot of people do because of social media, and some people just want attention. But outside of that, it's not really our business. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're doing something appropriate concerning that, like trying to force someone, trying to, constantly come on to someone who don't want it and say, hey, I respectfully, that's not me. Something like that. Then I could see talking about it, but just saying, oh, he's gay. Okay. Or he's bi, whatever. Okay. I mean, nobody would be surprised by that. Down low is kind of a different story, you know, still their business, but it's just not. It's just morally what foul to be like that because everybody has a right to be able to decide for themselves. But hey, they could be like that publicly and they could still tell whomever, say, hey, truly, I'm not a girl, I'm a guy. Truly, I am bi, I'm down low, whatever. I don't want people to know, but I'm telling you so you can make a decision. It's not that hard. But outside of that, we should I don't get the controversy over um, focusing on what other people like. As long as it's not something that goes against what others' desires. You're not violating someone. Okay. You don't like sleeping with their bodies. You don't like messing with older people who, that they can't take a no or whatever. You don't like children. Then we having a conversation, and that has nothing to do per se with being gay or bi. We always knew Blue was sassy. The first time I ever seen him, all I saw was sassy. He's now with the, clock that T. That's chicks, chicks, that's chicks. That's chicks. Okay. We know. We know Jason Lee has openly said he has had a big crush on Blueface. Seeing their last interview, I think they done moved on that. I think they've moved on that. And I think the event he went to recently was Jason Lee's event. I should have bought more of these. I think I'm going back. These craisins were $1 on sale for $1 something. I think they're gonna discontinue selling from that brand. Let me see. Yeah, $1.89. They would normally be like $6, $7. And I bought like 3 packs. My raisins and that be my snack. Something to snack on besides chips, because y'all know I'm a tripaholic and I'm trying. I'm trying. I don't want to have to go to rehab because I have not seen a rehab for chipaholics. So I'm intelligent enough to come up with other things. Cause snacking. But it's bigger than just it being a chip. It's the crunchiness, it's the texture, it's the flavors, it's the um, you know, if you have an oil fixation, then you know what I'm talking about. So you gotta try to make that a healthy thing. But the chips gotta go. Well, I started dehydrating stuff like squash